Welcome to Finding Inverses Graphically. Let's get started. This line here is our y equals x line. It's also known as the parent linear function. Hopefully you've actually seen this line before. If you haven't, it's just a line that crosses the origin and has a slope of 1, up 1 over 1. Now, if we have a function and we graph it and it looks like this, if we reflected it over this parent linear function, or this y equals x line, it would look something like this. It's just a mirror image, a complete reflection over this line. So that's what we're going to work on, is getting a function, graphing it, reflecting it, and finding our inverse of that function. So the first thing you want to do is graph this equation right here. It's already in the y equals mx plus b form, your slope-intercept form. So the first thing we need to do is graph our y-intercept, positive 2. Then you want to move with the way of the slope, up 2 over 3, since it's positive. So we're going up 2 over 3. So there's this point. And then up 2 over 3. And in order to make some points the other way, we want to go down 2 over 3 from that y-intercept. Down 2 over 3. So here's our original function. The next step is to plot these points onto this table. So I've got this point right here, and you always kind of want to get maybe the middle 3. And this point would be negative 3, 0. This one is 0, 2. And this next one looks like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, 4. Now here's where you're trying to find your inverse function. You take all these x's and they move over to the y column of the inverse function. And then the y's in the original become the x's of the inverse function. So instead of negative 3, 0, you now have 0, negative 3. So they just switched places. And instead of 0, 2, now you have 2, 0. And then again, instead of 3, 4, now you have 4, 3. So your last and final step is to graph these new inverse points onto here. So 0, negative 3, right there. And then 2, 0, and 4, 3. And you can see that it's reflected pretty close. It should be exact. I'm sorry, not pretty close. It's reflected exactly over this y equals x parent function line. And there you go. You've graphed your original and you graphed your inverse. Now from here you can find the equation of your new inverse function. Remember, you've got your slope, which is how you move from point to point, so up 3 over 2. You've got y equals 3 over 2 x, and then your y-intercept, which is negative 3. So there is the inverse of this function. Here's a quick review of what we just did. The steps to finding the inverses graphically. Remember, to graph the original function, it has to be in that y equals mx plus b slope-intercept form. Plot the points from that line. Find the new points, which again, remember, if your points are 4, negative 3, then your new inverse points are just switching the x's and the y's, so now it's negative 3, 4. Then graph your new inverse line from those points, and then you can find that inverse equation from the line. Don't forget to watch the next video. Thanks for watching and see you soon.